Hey guys, I'm Rachel Cruz.
I'm George Camel.
And this is Smart Money Happy Hour. Cheers, George.
Cheers. Wow.
Oh, that's a great
That'll
drink.
make you grab life by the horns.
That'll do something.
That's impressive.
Unbelievable. Well, this is the show where two friends who happen to be money experts talk about what you're talking about. So everything from pop culture, current events, and money.
And today, Rachel, we are bringing the audience into the conversation in a way we have never done before. And things are about to get personal and interesting.
Yeah. And this is a episode, George, I think you've been wanting to do for a long time because
forever.
We are going to give, the old saying, our 2 cents, if you will, about, situations. And we do this a lot with our job, especially when we host the Ramsey show. We're giving advice real quick, 3 minutes here.
Right quick. That's what we say in the South.
Right quick.
Right quick.
Right quick. And, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, next caller. And this show, we have a cocktail. We're a little bit more chill.
A little more lighthearted.
Yeah. So we thought, though, let's kind of bring that same format, is what they say in the biz.
Nobody says that.
To this show.
That'll be fun. But before we get there, Rachel, what are we sipping on today?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I went right into the episode.
You were so excited. You skipped over
Maybe
the drink.
I'm so excited about this episode. We did skip the cocktail. Yes. What are we sipping on, George? Sorry.
It's a Fireman's Daiquiri.
Oh. That's
Hence
a fun name.
the red color if you're watching.
Yeah. It feels less sweet than a traditional daiquiri.
I think that's maybe the Fireman. It's a little fiery.
Yeah, I don't
know. A little
know.
zip
It's
and
really
zang
great.
to it.
It's really
so
great.
Stick around till the end. We will reveal the cost per glass, give you our rating out of 10. And as usual, the recipe is in the show notes.
Okay, but George, I am glad this episode is happening because we've been waiting for this.
Well, it's like enough of us. Let's hear from the people.
Yeah.
That's how I always feel.
And this is coming from our voicemail. Remember that? We recorded a voicemail.
Every time I hear voicemail, I think of you and Denise's voicemail from when you were kids that you rapped on the Ramsey show.
Our rap. I thought I did it here.
It was on the Ramsey show, too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. That was live in front of millions of people.
Oh, man,
you went, boom.
I did. Get the beat right, George.
Sorry.
Unbelievable.
My bad.
Oh, man, we love a good voicemail.
Do you get any voicemails in today's day and age?
I get it from my sister. And every time she leaves it, she says, "Hey, Rachel, it's Denise." And I'm like,
that is so Denise.
I know it is because I see her name. And then, what's funny? Amelia, our daughter, got one of those Gab watches, which we love because you can only call who you put in the the watch for. So we only put in me, Winston's parents, and my parents. And so Amelia just the other day was like, "Mom, do you know what Papa Dave's voicemail says?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I know, because I'll tell you in a second." She was cracking up about it. She's like, "Well, I called him and he didn't answer." And she was like, and he just says, "Hi, it's Dave, and I don't listen to voicemails. Email me." And Amelia was like, "I don't have his email." And I was like, "Yeah, it's going to be tough to get in touch
Is there
with
a
him."
more boomer statement? I love that so
on
much.
his voicemail.
He might as well
this
have
is
said,
Dave. I don't listen to voicemails. Email me.
He might as well have said, "Hey, if you
Should
miss
we
me on my
call it and see
beeper,
if
go
we
ahead
can
and
get
send me
it?
a fax.
Should
I
we-
don't check my beeper."
Should we call it and see if we can
Yeah,
get it?
I need to hear this.
This
Put it
would
on
be
speaker.
funny. This would be funny. I
This
hope
is
he
good
doesn't
content.
answer. I hope he doesn't answer.
I think he's in the middle of doing a show right now,
Good,
like
good.
us.
Oh my gosh.
He's a working
This
man.
is the best.
If he answers, though, it's
If he
going to be
answers,
so
don't ruin
funny.
it. I'm going to say, don't answer.
It's like a prank
So I
call.
don't have to ask permission.
Hey, this is Dave. I don't check voicemail, so email me or text me, please.
He did say or text me, to
And he
be
did
fair.
say please, which is actually a really great
Yes.
thing. We got please. So anyways, no one leaves voicemails anymore. We all know it. Dave knows it. We know it. But you guys played our fun game when we created one to ask us questions, and we got them in. So that's what we're going to do today.
Well, before we get to everyone else's money conundrums, I want to know, Rachel, have you had any unusual financial predicaments lately? I like for us to go first. Because
Okay,
we're not,
that's fair. That's
nobody's
fair.
perfect. We all have our things.
Yep. I mean, my most recent and most terrible one, I feel like, was my USPS text that I got that apparently everyone in America got, but I was one of the only ones to fall for it.
Well, you and elderly women.
And
I think there's 2 target demos that they go after with these texts.
I know, and the more I say it out loud, the more I can't believe it. But yeah, they said my shipment was lost. And all in my defense, I had a shipment out with USPS. That was a real thing. It wasn't like, oh, I didn't have anything shipping to me. I had a box
To
coming
be fair,
to me.
you always have something shipping to you.
Not more recently. I haven't bought much from our
Wow.
little, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We have a challenge.
We do, and I'm
about
sticking
that.
to it. You're not sticking to yours, I can tell.
I don't even remember what I promised to do or not
do.
No
alcohol.
What am I doing here?
I know. No, but anyways, USPS said they lost my package, because they don't have the right address. And so I had to refill out my home address and then give them my debit card information because
Nothing about that was weird. They lost your box because they don't have your address?
They charged me 30 cents to do the re-fulfillment and all of it. And that made sense to me because people have to get paid so they have to pay salaries. And I totally put it all in.
Wow.
I know. So far, so good though. Can I say that? It's been 2 months and they haven't done anything.
Good. I hope it stays that way.
I know. Well, how about you, George? Anything?
Well, recently, this is just more embarrassing. We went on a tour to this new neighborhood. It looked beautiful. The website and everything was beautiful. It's just land. It's just dirt right now.
Sure.
So we did a tour. We thought we'll sign up for this little tour and just kind of, get a lay of the land.
Yeah.
And on the website, it says home sites start at whatever the price was. And we went, okay, that feels reasonable for the area. In my brain, it didn't click that a home site is not a home.
Oh, no, it's just the land.
It's just the site of the home. So we're on this tour, and I was like, man, this he's bringing us around in his luxury, Range Rover. We're going through the land like it's a safari. He takes us to a yurt. That's something only rich people have. And we're like, just wanted to confirm, the price, is that just for the land? He was like, yes. I was like, okay. What's the price per square foot to build? He's like, it'll be $700 a square foot. And I'm doing the calculations on my phone.
George, it's a $5 million house.
Yes, I'm looking at Whitney. I'm going, we have to abort. How do we get out of this?
Oh.
We were there for 2 hours with this man.
Gosh. And you're having to pretend.
And not once did he go, hey, are you guys
qualified
buyers? And so that was really embarrassing that we, number one,
He'll
wasted
never
his
know,
time.
though, right?
Well, let's just say he never called us after that. I think he got the hint that this was not a home in our price
Isn't
range.
it crazy? These crazy neighborhoods, which I'm sure different cities around America have this, for the actual land itself is the price of a house. To your point, it's to your defense. We were like, oh yeah, that feels like a reasonable.
That can't be the price for dirt in today's America. It was. So there's my embarrassment.
Well, at least yours wasn't online, if you will, like mine was.
That's true.
Because those scammers online, George, they're everywhere. They're getting your information, the data brokers out there sell your information. That's one reason I love Delete Me.
Yes.
It's because they have taken my information away from so many websites. It's so great.
And so what they do is they scour the internet for all of your personal info that's out there. So you set your account up. They'll search for all of that, your phone numbers, emails, even people related to you and old addresses and all of that. They're keeping track and they send you a report of exactly where they removed your info from and how much time they saved. Right now I'm at 44 hours. I don't know why it feels like a flex to say this is how much time they have saved me from doing it myself.
Same thing. I was addicted to it. I was like, I couldn't stop reading it because you're just like, oh my gosh.
They show you hey, your phone number and email were on this site and we removed it.
So I have full confidence in them, love them. And actually you guys get 20% off your Delete Me plan if you go to joindeleteme.com/smartmoney. So make sure to sign up, get an account. We'll put a link below to make sure to check it out.
Yes, super affordable, well worth your time.
And that's why I love that Delete Me is the sponsor of today's show. They're fantastic. So great. All right, George, ready to head to the voicemails?
That's
of the people?
Let's roll
I'm so excited
the
about
tape.
this.
I have not heard any of these voicemails. Have you?
Nope.
Okay.
All right, let's hear the first one. And I think it's from Peter.
Peter, here's our 2 cents. Let's go.
Hey, George. Hey, Rachel. This is Peter from Long Island, age 30, baby step 7. I wanted to propose to my girlfriend of 2.5 years shortly, but recently after turning 30, I was brought into my family's finances. I knew my father was wealthy. I did not realize how wealthy. He has about $11 million in mutual funds and stocks, and conservatively another 6.5 in paid for real estate with no mortgages that produce rental income. So here's the kicker. He told me recently that he would not leave me in the will and I would not get anything if I do not get my girlfriend to agree to a prenup. And I have not talked to her about it yet. But I know from discussions that have come up here and there over the course of dating her that she'd probably be a hard no. So I was wondering, it's a little bit of an odd situation because I don't want to tell my dad how he should leave money because it's not mine, it's his. And I also think that having that conversation can be a bit awkward. So I was hoping for some guidance. What would you do if you guys were me?
Dang.
Glad we beeped out that number because all the ladies going to be calling Peter up.
Peter.
Like, I'll sign the prenup, Peter.
We're here.
I don't care what she does.
Okay. Well, he first asked, what would you do if you were me? Well, he obviously loves his girlfriend. He's thinking about proposing. I would just be very honest with her.
Yeah.
And be like, all right.
And start with, hey, I know this is weird.
And we'll just say, like, here's the deal. Like, oh my God, I just found this out. And like, this is my dad's stance. I don't know what to do. Like, I need to hear all your thoughts. Let's process this together. Like, make it like just a conversation. Just be honest with it.
Yeah.
Is what I would do going forward.
Well,
I think
his spirit is very different than the normal one we get around prenups. Because we get this question a lot. Should I get a prenup? Normally, it's from dudes that are broke who are like, she's going to take me to the cleaners. I got to get a prenup. I'm like, bro, you don't have to be worried.
Yeah,
okay?
You're fine.
But this is a very different situation. We say when there's a big discrepancy in wealth, which in this case, I would say 18 million is a big discrepancy.
Yes.
Unless she also has 18 million.
Right.
But I would say this is a wise thing to do in a case like this.
Yeah.
But the harder part he wants to know is, how do I address this? How do I have the conversation? Because
right.
she might say, no, I'm not signing it. Now he's got a real rock and hard place. Do I propose, get married, and basically say goodbye to this massive inheritance and wealth for love? I think it's like a Hallmark movie.
Right? That would
Love
be the
conquers
answer.
all.
Love conquers all. At the end of the day, if you love her, you guys will do great on your own. Like, I mean, I wouldn't not marry somebody because they didn't sign a prenup. Does that make sense? I don't know. And especially if it's the dad's money. So if I were her, like if I was engaged to Winston and it was all of his money and he's like, I want you to sign a prenup, I think that's more hard to reconcile versus like my dad has money and wants, like, to me, like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's not even your money.
It's less personal.
It's something your dad wants. Sure, that's your dad's money. Does that make sense? Like eventually it will become his. But in my head, that feels like more of a separation versus if it's like, oh, as a person, I don't trust you. It can feel, a prenup can feel like I don't trust you. And it's
saying if and when things go south, it's got a very kind of negative tone.
And again, it's not him asking for the prenup, it's kind of his dad.
Yeah.
So to me, that feels like, I don't know. And if I'm the dad, there is a level that I'm like, I could get that. Like if you're $18 million, that's a lot of money.
He's worked really hard to amass this level of wealth.
Yeah, but then you also want to hope that you like trust your kids and who they're picking and marrying in their lives. I think where it gets really sticky is, we've talked to family businesses and they have like family stock.
Oh, yeah.
And if you, somehow divorce and the family stock is split between you two, now the ex-husband or the ex-wife has say within the company of voting rights, like that gets real messy. So that I would be like, that's fair to have a document that says, if something happens, this or that.
And the purpose when we talk about prenups, it's less about a distrust of the person you're going to marry and more avoiding the crazy that's within the greater family.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Which that's the situations we tend to see. It's not one person against another.
And you know what? That's probably TMI. But like, okay, so no one in the Ramseys has signed a prenup. My husband didn't. My sister's husband didn't. My brother's wife did not. So like, there's no prenups. But once I were just having this conversation, because I read this book recently about passing stuff down to your kids and like it's like this whole thing. And I was like, and I had never thought about it. I'm surprised the Ramseys, we haven't said this out loud because we talk about everything when it comes to death and estate planning and everything. But I am like, oh my gosh, what if, and we won't say divorce, we'll just say death. But like, like what if one of us Ramseys die?
Oh.
And then like Winston gets remarried and she has kids. You know what I mean? Like where does all of that start to happen and break down? Like it does kind of get funny and weird. So yeah, I don't know. So that's why we probably need an estate meeting with our families
it's
to
time.
have these questions answered.
It's time for the meeting.
But I do think that's why planning ahead, whether it's estate planning, a prenup in a big like extreme situation, all of that, I think I do see as understandable. I really do. But again, if it's some guy and he's like, I got a Chevy that's 1968 and I don't want you to have my Chevy car, I'd be like, your priorities are screwed, dude.
You know
what I mean?
Yeah, you can tell the tone and spirit of it. And I think Peter, he's going to approach this with a lot of, tender-hearted care and empathy and going, hey.
I don't know.
But here's the deal.
Do you think it's wrong to have her sign it?
I don't think it's wrong to have her sign it in this case. Here's the thing that you have to be okay with. You have to make peace with, if she's the one, we're going to say goodbye to this and create our own wealth, which he said baby step 7. If you don't know, that means Peter's completely debt-free, including his house. He has no mortgage payment. So he's already done an incredible job at 30, which tells me Peter's going to build his own wealth. And so he really doesn't need this money.
Yep.
And that's where you want to be. You don't want to be reliant and dependent on an inheritance. You want it to be this beautiful thing you can kind of pass on generationally.
That's right. Totally. Yep.
So either way, he's going to be okay.
That's right.
But
Great
man, keep us
question,
posted. Because if she says no and you still marry her, I'm like, wow, what a boss.
What a prince. Or a king. A king, as they would say in the Gen Z
We're
world.
so out of touch.
What a king. All right, let's do a Casey, shall we? Casey's question.
See what Casey has to say.
My husband and I are thinking about starting a family towards the end of this year. And I have been deciding about staying home, whether to keep working, what that'll look like. And I pretty much know that I'm going to stay home. Is it wrong for me to take my full maternity leave knowing good and well that I'm probably not coming back at all? I don't know. We've just been talking about it and we're curious morally, is that okay? Or, if I know that I'm not going to be coming back to this company, do I still take that maternity leave? I don't know. So any advice y'all have, maybe, what would y'all do? It is a benefit that I have as an employee, but then again, I kind of know I don't want to come back. So let me know what you think.
It's a
Rachel,
great question.
As a man, let me start. If I was having a baby, she asked, what would I do if I was in her shoes?
Yeah, what would you do, George?
I can tell you what we've done, and I can tell you what we do at Ramsey, because I think that helps.
Okay, we talk about that. I want to know what would you say to that, though?
There's nothing morally wrong with taking maternity leave and not coming back.
I agree.
You're not a bad person.
Yeah.
And by the way, they can kind of see this coming. Like, there's a high chance that when women go on maternity leave, they might not come back.
Yes, it's a risk the employer takes, right? In that sense, yeah.
And so, no, you're not a bad person. They're not going to take money back away from you if you don't come back. But what you do need to do is do some homework and talk to your employer, talk to HR, and actually find out what happens in these situations and walk them through the scenarios. Hey, what happens if this happens? What happens if I don't come back? And I can tell you, when my wife went on maternity leave, they say, hey, we're going to pay you for the maternity leave.
At Ramsey, regardless if you're coming back or not.
So there's not this weird timing thing of
but because there was years, though, where women would take maternity leave and they're like, and they knew they were Casey, that was like, I'm probably not coming back, but I'm going to just say, I'm not sure. They take it, and then a week before, they're like, yeah, I'm not coming back. Which, again, is totally fair. And the employer, it's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, you just find someone new.
Well, the big thing with the employer
is it's just refilling that position. They need to backfill that position. So I think as the employer's standpoint, at least at Ramsey, it was like, oh, man, I would rather them just tell us so that we can go ahead and work on getting the backfill going, right, 3 months before. But what they don't want to do that, because if you say it, you don't get the full benefit. It's like you're quitting, basically. At Ramsey, it was like, okay, regardless or not, you're getting paid it. So just let us know, because we can start, refilling the position. But not all companies do that. Some companies, you got to wait to the very end to tell them. But again, I think that's a benefit.
And that's a risk they take if that's their policy.
That's right. And maybe there is 2% of you that's like, maybe I will. I don't know, right?
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with taking full advantage of a policy that they put in place.
Yes, that's right.
You didn't make this up, and you're following their rules. And unless the rules stipulate when you need to say if you're coming back or not.
That's a good point, though. Talk to your employer and what the specific rules are for that company. Yep, that's a good one, though.
Congratulations,
Thanks,
Casey. That's exciting. And,
yes.
And my wife came back to work for months and then decided to stay home.
I know, and now
so
she's so happy.
But she loves it.
Talking to her last week.
No regrets, Casey. It's going to be awesome.
So great. All right. Next is Mel.
I'll tell you a quick story about a money fail I had. So when I was a baby, my parents purchased a couple of bonds for me. I think they were worth, at the beginning, $500 each. Now I was at the time 23, and my parents gave them to me to go ahead and cash in. Well, they live in Missouri. I live in Chicago now, and I tried to cash them in at a bank in Chicago, and they said, no, you can only cash them in at your home bank, which is still in Missouri for me. So I was like, shoot, I guess I have to bring the bonds back to Missouri. And I never usually carry cash. But before I went back to Missouri, I was visiting my boyfriend in Dallas, Texas. And I got to the airport to go from Dallas, Texas back to Missouri. And in the airport, I got pickpocketed. And my bonds were unfortunately stolen. Now, these people cannot cash them in because they're my bonds to my name, but that is also like hundreds and hundreds of dollars that I just lost simply because it was the one time I was carrying them around, which I never normally would do. So that's kind of an unfortunate story. Not the end of the world, but it really stung for me.
Oof.
Ouch.
It doesn't sound like there's a lot to do at this point.
No, losing money is terrible.
Well, it's like losing your Bitcoin like encrypted key. Have you heard about this? People have lost millions.
Wait, what?
So with Bitcoin or any crypto, you have to have this like crazy long key that is entered manually or stored somewhere. And if you lose that, then you don't own the like it's stuck with that key.
Oh no.
And so there's been several stories of people who have lost that long, chain of numbers and letters.
I would copy and paste that into the notes on my phone,
That could get hacked. Very scary. But that's the modern day version of this. But
yes.
Goodness, that stinks. I mean, other than reporting, to local authorities, talking
that's
to
what
the
I would
home
probably
bank and
do.
saying, hey, is there any record of this? Can they reissue the bond? Is it just in that piece of paper and that's it?
Surely there's other paper trails that you could.
Yeah, but I would at least try. I would make an effort, talk to the home bank, see what they can do. If they say, hey, sorry, you're out of luck, then this is, I'd get one of those like internal fanny packs you wear like in your pants. Have you seen those?
Yes.
I wore one of those in Europe because there was a big fear of pickpocket.
Yes, I know. I was going to say people wear that in Europe.
And I'm an easy target.
Yeah, you are. They see you, they think cash for sure.
They think this guy's got money.
He's got something
Little do
in
they
his pocket.
know.
Oh my gosh. All right.
That's a sad one.
That is a
Thanks
sad
for sharing,
one.
Mel.
Okay, let's go to Mark.
My net worth is $1.9 million. That includes like the house, retirement accounts, things like that. So yeah, $1.9 million. But I guess my money story / fail is that I kind of gave into the whole Instagram life, buying expensive things, watches, cars, things like that. So even though the net worth is pretty high, I am in lot amount of debt. It's about $125,000. So trying to my way, follow the baby steps, things like that. Since a majority of the net worth, is tied up in investments, housing, things like that.
Mark, $125,000 in debt. And just
wild
stuff.
Just stuff.
Watches,
cars. Now, the question I would follow up with if we were on the show with Mark on the Ramsey show is, well, what's the car worth? What do you owe on it? What kind of investments do you have? Or any of them non-retirement? So I would start looking into things that we could sell.
And what other expensive things do you have? Watches, like that kind of stuff. Like,
because you could kind of reverse some of those. You're not going to get what you paid for it.
Right. It's not like a vacation where you can't, there's nothing else you can do, right? But if it's actual items, get rid of that stuff all day.
And I would think he has a great income. If he has a $1.9 million net worth that he's amassed, hopefully he makes, has a 6-figure income where he can knock this out in 2 years.
Well, and what's hard is like the budget is what is really going to be the key here for him. I mean, honestly, planning out, living on nothing. But the hard thing is like reversing that, right? Going from the Instagram lifestyle of just charging everything, getting what you want when you want it. Oh, that's cool. Yes. Saying yes all the time to having to say no. Like your pain has to be so great that no is so much better than the yeses you were doing that were creating the pain, right? So there is this like total mindset shift, and that's hard for a lot of people. Not everyone can do that. And so it would be a challenge for him, I think. But doing the budget, Every Dollar is our budgeting app. It's fantastic. If you've not created a budget, you guys do it.
Well, it's kind of the cure for this lifestyle creep where you make more and you spend more.
Yes.
Because when you're broke, it's hard to like outpace yourself. But then you start making money. You start to do pretty well. You get comfortable. It's easier to fall back into those habits. So, Mark, get on Every Dollar. You can go to everydollar.com/smartmoney. And we've got a special page set up there for our listeners. And I've really found that's the key. Because the budget will tell you the truth. It'll tell you the reality. Hey, Mark, you made $6,000 this month. Don't spend $7,000.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
And so you can
and here's the
have
boundary.
the line item.
Yeah, and say no. I mean, like when those impulses come up, you have to say no. And it's
not a no to forever, and it's not a no to nice stuff. It's just you need to save up and pay cash for that watch and make it a reasonable part of your world or that car.
But to get out of this debt, there'll be a lot of no's.
Oof.
But you can do this, Mark.
Tough.
Sell the watches.
Sell it.
The watches.
Sell the horse, sell the watch, sell the car.
Sell it all. All right. We got Marcus. Marcus is up next.
Basically, I'm into flipping sneakers and storage lockers and trading cards, and I came across a famous rapper's old items. A lot of them were from music videos. I had a BET award, and a lot of other stuff. And because I'm a big fan of him and I'm from his city, I chose to return the items. Well, shortly after, a lot of people who found out I had them offered me thousands, like tens of thousands of dollars for a lot of these items. And I don't know. I'm trying to think if I did the right thing. I'm kind of kicking myself. So.
Wow.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I would say if he bought the items from some other third party.
He acquired them through legal means.
Yeah. And he bought them. And then the rapper was like, oh, those are mine. I want them back. I think I would be like, I'm happy to give you back, but I'm out. I will sell them for what I bought them for because I don't want to just be out money because you somehow let go of these items at some point in your life, right?
Clearly, he has not been paying the storage locker fee or whatever it is.
Oh, is that okay? That was from the storage. Okay.
Yeah, if he's saying he acquired the storage locker,
that's right.
the stuff. Usually that's, hey, people didn't pay, and the storage
but if you
people.
Didn't pay, how much do you pay for a storage locker? You think?
I mean, if you've seen the Storage Wars,
I've not.
It's a pretty wild show.
I bet so.
They just auction off people's storage units.
But like, how much did that guy have to buy the storage unit for, right? Because if it's a few $100, I feel bad for him.
If I'm the rapper.
But if I bought that thing for 10 grand and then he just wants the stuff, I think I'd be like, I'm out 10 grand, dude. If you want to pay me 10 grand, I'll give you everything back.
Well, he regrets the money he could have made if he had just sold it.
I wouldn't regret that.
But I think he also would have felt bad about that. And he would have had a lot of guilt.
I wouldn't like that. I would feel terrible. I would.
So I think it's pretty cool that you got to return the stuff to the rapper who you love.
Who's the rapper? 50
I want to know.
Cent?
I'm trying to think of what rapper went broke enough that they couldn't pay the storage unit fee. Hold on.
I'm going back to like the 90s.
Think about this. Storage unit, G unit, 50 Cent.
Oh, it's it.
Case closed.
No.
Court of law, this is over.
Who did Gangster's Paradise? Jay...
LL Cool J? LL Cool J?
Coolio's in my spirit right now.
I want to know what that first rapper you mentioned was.
I just feel like it's Coolio's. I don't know.
My heart of hearts, this is my conspiracy theorist that comes out once a year. It's Tupac and he's still alive.
Great one, but he can't have a paper trail.
Maybe that's why he never went back for the locker.
We've got to call Marcus back. Be like, Marcus, did you find Tupac?
I will find out who this rapper was and I will report back.
Who's your mine's
who's your favorite rapper?
Coolio.
That's your favorite rapper?
No, it's not my favorite. It's just whose storage unit I think it is. Whose do you think it is?
I'm gonna go 50 Cent.
Really? Go.
Well, now we need to find out who has a BET award out of the rappers.
That's right.
We can find the
We can Google
some
that.
Crumbs and clues here.
Just leave it to us. We're like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. Just solving mysteries one at a time.
I only can name like probably 6 rappers off the top of my head right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's good. Maybe Marcus will report back.
Yeah, but I wouldn't lose sleep over it, Marcus. There's more money to be made. You're 20 years old. You seem to be very knowledgeable on flipping. You'll find thousands more soon.
Yeah. All right. I think we got Ethan next.
I live in Dallas. I'm making about 80, maybe a little more in the 80s because it depends on overtime, bonus, all that. 26, looking to get engaged. Been with the same girl for about 6 years, 6 years and some change. We've lived together for a year. And man, the, lab grown, natural diamond, 1 month salary, 3 month salary. I feel like a bunch of different people are telling me a bunch of different things, and I love y'all's analysis and just feel like there may be some other 26-year-olds or so in the same boat. So love y'all. Thanks for what you do, and bye-bye.
We love you too, Ethan.
Love y'all.
So nice.
Ethan, what a king.
Ethan, I'm so glad you're proposing after 6 years.
Yeah, about time.
Let's get this train to moving.
And they're already living together, Ethan. Like, what are we doing here, man?
Come on, Ethan. Let's just start with this. Let's do amount first.
Okay.
We always recommend, 3 months? 1 month?
We don't have I don't know that there's a Ramsey parameter.
I think it's like 1 to 3 months of
I feel
salary.
like 3 months feels aggressive, but maybe that's just me being frugal.
Okay.
I feel like that was started by, Zales or something of like, yes, it must be 3 months salary.
I think it's a 1 month, we say. It was like 1 to 3.
1 month feels more reasonable.
We got a 1. We got a 1 from the people in the back.
If you want to like this is a ballpark. It doesn't have to be this much.
So 1. Okay. All right. And then let's go lab versus
lab
natural.
grown versus natural. I personally have no opinion on this. I think the women have more opinions on what they want. Diamonds have, for some reason, been the thing. But I feel like there's a lot of options out there that look beautiful. So it's more about the ring to me and what the gem looks like, the stone.
Yeah.
Like, there's some beautiful moissanite rings out there. So it really depends on her taste. Mm-hmm. And I assume they've talked about this. I mean, they've been together a long time. There's no way she's never brought this up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only like fear with the lab diamond, if I can just say
it,
is that if someone like were to ask, it could sound like, oh, he was cheap. Like he did a lab, not the real, right? Like that's the negative side of it. Is that
it's the judgment from other girls.
It's the judgment from other girls. Like it could sound cheap, right? Like I think that's a fair thing. But then that movie, Blood Diamond, with Leonardo DiCaprio,
that changed the game.
It really did, y'all. It really made me rethink a lot.
You know what? I bet the lobbyists behind Lab Grown were like, "We'll fund this movie."
Yeah, well, it kind of works because a part of me, yeah. You know what I would do if I didn't do a real? Because diamonds are like one of the most expensive gems, right? I mean, like it really is. So if I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. I want a bigger ring, but it doesn't have to be a diamond. You could do like a really pretty sapphire. Like you could do like something totally right, Princess Di vibes. Like go like totally different gem than a diamond.
Okay.
That's another option.
My hot take is
I think that's kind of cool, actually. When people do something totally different.
Ring.
Sam, our publicist, says she has an emerald.
Oh, that's cool.
Hers is like a green with 2 diamonds on the side. It's beautiful. Like really cool. So
I would find out what her taste is and go off of that versus just deciding. And I personally wouldn't spend more than a month. And I personally don't give a rip about diamonds. So unless my wife, Whitney, was like, it must be a diamond.
What was Whitney's ring? Like what was her?
Don't remember the thing. I don't think it was diamond though.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think it must have been like a moissanite or one of those.
Yeah,
and it's beautiful. Like
Yeah.
the ring itself, it's like a vintage, really cool ring.
Yes.
And the stone is the stone. You can always replace the stone later.
Totally.
So
Absolutely.
it just, to me, it's not that big of a deal. And I get it represents love, but
it's not.
You've been together 6 years. Just go ahead and get a ring.
Get the ring.
So that's my take.
Thanks, Ethan, for the call. Well, George, was that as great as you were hoping it to be?
It did a number for me.
It did it? I'm so glad.
Yeah. I just enjoyed hearing from the people.
And
not that I don't like listening to you.
And they love us. Did you hear that?
He said love y'all.
Golly. It's what
I think next time we get them
need.
live. We go full Dak Shepard and we have a live conversation.
That would be so fun.
All
love
right,
it.
we'll get there.
All right,
Thank
it's almost the end of the episode, and we close out every episode with
Guilty as charged.
And this is where our producer, Skyler, with a asterisk. This is Skyler's last
as of this recording
episode. Skyler.
She's moving on to greener pastures.
She's moving on to bigger and better things, people. Let's just say it like it is.
She's too talented.
You know what?
You can't keep her in a box.
We tried, and she thought, I'm just outgrowing these people.
No.
No, we will miss you, Skyler.
I'll miss you guys so much.
Did a fantastic job.
You had a heck of a run. In your how many years at Ramsey?
A year and a half.
A year and a half.
I know.
And she accomplished so much.
So much in such a short amount of time. Maybe
18
write
months.
a book, you know? That's unbelievable.
And memoir.
We do have a great team, though, on Smart Money Happy Hour. And people, it's a fun team here we have.
Yeah.
And so when one departs us, we love and respect and we'll miss you, Skyler. So
you won't be forgotten.
Give us the final guilty as charged. The last guilty as charged, Skyler.
Yes, I'll miss you guys so much. And the question is, are you guilty of giving your 2 cents to a friend, coworker, or family member and it backfired?
Oh, man.
So many times. In fact,
I was going to say, isn't it easier to give advice when you're not the one in the situation? You're like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Go X, Y, and Z. And then they do it and you're like, sorry about that.
Well, I thought because, I don't do unsolicited. So I never insert myself into someone's life unless they ask me for financial advice. Hey, what should I do? Here's my situation. Mm-hmm. And I found that even when they ask me and then I give them the advice, they're like, okay, immediately regret this. So this has happened with a family member who was like, hey, here's my situation. Here's my numbers. And I was like, sell the car.
Oh, you're talking money. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, sell the car. They're like, no, we're done here. And I've even to a friend had a long conversation with multiple people on the phone. I'm talking like an hour and a half on the phone. I'm hearing their story. I'm writing things down, taking notes, sending emails of like, here's all the things you can do. Never heard back. Just cool,
can
thanks.
I say this?
They never did any of the things. That hurts.
Well, it's nice that they asked y'all. I don't think anybody in my life has asked me about money advice. None
Ouch.
of my friends. I mean, genuinely, I don't think anyone has ever asked. I was thinking dating advice,
Do you get it in
sister-in-law
public?
advice.
Do strangers
I took
come up to
guilty as
you?
charged as that. I do have one friend, but she was actually technically asking Winston.
Wow. Did that
real
hurt at
estate
all?
stuff.
Oh, I guess it's more real
No,
estate.
because
That's his world.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, babe, what would you say? Like, I don't know. This is so interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, no, people don't really. No, I don't really get asked.
Can I tell you something
But
funny?
I get a lot of like dating advice, like sister-in-law drama. I get relationships. Am I on the wrong show? Have I like
think
missed
so.
my like
Time
my
to
niche?
pivot.
Time to pivot the brands.
Yeah.
I
the money stuff they can Google. The relationship stuff. You know,
Yeah.
that's deep.
yeah.
I had a guy, Rachel. I was at Bridgestone Arena.
I'm questioning all my life right now.
You've been to Bridgestone, big arena.
Sure. Yes.
I was there to see a comedian. I'm walking into the arena, and a security guy, he just waves me over, wags me over with his finger. No words, just wags me over.
Oh, were you so
sternly.
nervous?
I was freaking out. I was like, "What? I don't have any
What
weapons
did I
on
do?
me.
What did I do?
I have a flosser in my pocket. Is that not okay? How did he know?" So I walk over. He doesn't say hello. He just says, "Second to die life insurance. What do you think?" And I'm like, I was flabbergasted, aghast. I didn't even know what I was like.
That's so funny.
And so he recognized me, wagged me over, mean-looking, tough security guy.
Yeah.
Ended up being very nice.
So great.
But just thought, gonna just directly ask this guy a financial question.
Totally.
Unsolicited
Oh my
without saying hello.
We got Dave calling back.
Answer and put it on speaker. So you're live on Smart Money Happy Hour. What's your question?
Dave, you are live on Smart Money Happy Hour. Oh!
My dreams have come true.
Oh my gosh. We were talking about voicemails and I laughed and I was like, my dad has the funniest voicemail. Y'all have to listen because he's not going to pick up.
Oh no, that's why you called.
So we heard it. I know. But will you be, hey,
I forgot. What's this say? I forgot.
that you don't listen to voicemails and to email you.
Oh, okay.
Will you be a guest on Smart Money Happy Hour?
Sure.
Yes. Fists are in the air. We are happy and delighted.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Say
There it
hi,
is.
George.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, George.
All right. Thanks for calling back. Love ya.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
I thought you would have hung up before I said love you back. Did he say love you back to me or you?
No, I hung up pretty quick after that. That was sweet, George.
That was fun. That was, I think,
gosh.
a perfect Smart Money Happy
That
Hour
was
moment to
good.
end on for
So
Skyler's last
good.
episode.
All right. George.
All right, we're both guilty.
We're guilty, I know. And who
Yeah.
finished their drink?
You.
Me. Wow.
I
liked it.
It was tart with a capital T.
But it didn't bother me.
Everything bothers me.
Yeah, it just didn't. It was good.
It was
okay.
really good. This
What's
is
your
a-
rating?
I was going to say fisherman's. It's a fireman's daiquiri, not a fisherman's daiquiri, which sounds disgusting. Take the juice of a sardine, just pour it in there, make a martini out of it. Fireman's daiquiri.
man.
I'm going to go 9 out of 10.
George, I was going to say the same thing.
It just keeps you coming back for more.
I know. I would order it. I think I would at a fun spot.
You will be shocked at what is in this. 3 ingredients: rum, lime juice, and grenadine.
It's a rum drink?
Rum, lime. I had no idea.
I would have gone gin.
Fool
in
me
my head.
once.
Wow.
The cost breakdown per glass, $1.66, very reasonably priced, and really complex for how simple it is.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
All right, go try it at home. The recipe's in the show notes. No excuses.
So great. Well, you guys, it's closing time. And if you love this episode, make sure to leave a review. Will you comment, share the show? Because that always gets the word out. It helps us out a lot, George, when people,
really
hit that
does.
share button. But we really do appreciate you guys. And if you want to leave a voicemail like all these people did, make sure to call 877-306-1517, and maybe we'll give you our 2 cents on a future episode. So make sure to check it out. And if you want more of our hot takes, check out our episode where we respond to all the haters. We'll put that link
was
in
a
the
good one.
description.
All right, and if you don't want to miss a future episode, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, the follow button, follow us on social, and we'll see you next Thursday for an all-new episode of
Smart Money Happy Hour.